You open an app. You are not looking for anything specific. But within 30 seconds, you are looking at someone else's life. Their apartment, their body, their relationship, their career, and something inside you shifts. A quiet calculation runs. And without meaning to, without wanting to, you have already measured yourself against them. That feeling is not vanity. It is not insecurity. It is not a modern disease born from smartphones and social media. It is one of the oldest survival mechanisms your species ever developed. And it has been running inside you, without your permission, for 2 million years. You were built to compare. Not because you are weak, because comparison kept your ancestors alive. Here is what nobody tells you. The human brain does not experience social comparison as an optional activity. It does not treat it the way it treats reading a book or choosing what to eat. Social comparison is involuntary. It is automatic. It runs beneath conscious thought, in the same ancient circuitry that monitors your heartbeat and your breathing. Your brain compares you to the people around you the same way it monitors the temperature of the air or the steadiness of the ground beneath your feet. Constantly, without asking. Psychologist Leon Festinger first formalized this in 1954 in what he called social comparison theory. His argument was simple and unsettling. Humans have a fundamental drive to evaluate their own opinions, abilities, and social standing. And in the absence of objective measures, we use other people as our measuring stick. Not occasionally, compulsively, because knowing where you stand relative to others is not a social luxury. It is survival data. Think about what that meant in the ancestral environment. Your group was everything. It was your food supply, your protection, your reproductive future, your entire life. And within that group, your position mattered enormously. The person with higher status ate better, survived longer, had more offspring. Status was not ego. Status was survival currency. And the only way to know your status was to compare yourself constantly to every person around you. So your brain built a system for it. A relentless, automatic, always-on social radar. Scanning the people near you. Calculating relative strength, relative skill, relative value. Filing the results. Updating continuously. And rewarding you when you came out ahead, and alarming you when you fell behind. That system never switched off. It is the same system running right now when you look at someone else's life on a screen. Neuroscientist Caroline Zink conducted a series of brain imaging studies that revealed something extraordinary. When humans observe another person receiving a higher reward, a specific region of the brain activates. The ventral striatum, the same region that responds to physical pain. Social comparison that makes you feel inferior does not register as a social inconvenience. It registers as injury. Your brain processes being outranked the same way it processes being hurt. And the opposite is also true. When you come out ahead in a comparison, when you see someone struggling where you're succeeding, the brain releases dopamine. The same chemical triggered by food, by physical warmth, by the resolution of danger. Superiority feels good not because you are cruel, but because your ancestors who felt good about high status sought to maintain it. And the ones who maintained high status survived. You are not comparing yourself to others because you are broken. You are comparing yourself to others because the version of you that did not compare did not make it to the present. But here is where the ancient system collides with the modern world. And the collision is catastrophic. Your social comparison system was built for a group of roughly 150 people. That is the number researchers believe early humans lived among. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar famously calculated that the human neocortex can maintain stable social relationships with approximately 150 individuals. Beyond that, the social processing system starts to strain. For 2 million years, your comparison system ran against those 150 people. You knew them. You saw them every day. Their lives were fully visible to you. Their failures as well as their triumphs. Their hard days as well as their good ones. The comparison was complete information. Now your brain runs the same system against millions. Against curated highlight reels. Against filtered photographs and carefully constructed narratives. against people who are presenting only the version of their life they want you to see. Your ancient comparison system was never designed to process this. It cannot distinguish between a real peer in your actual social environment and a stranger with perfect lighting and a professional photographer. It just compares, and you keep losing, not because you are actually falling behind, but because you are comparing your unfiltered reality to everyone else's edited performance. Researcher Ethan Cross at the University of Michigan studied the effects of social media use on emotional well-being and found something striking. Passive consumption, scrolling and observing without interacting, consistently lowered mood and increased feelings of envy and inadequacy. The more people scrolled, the worse they felt. Not because their lives had changed, because their comparison data had. Because suddenly the reference group was not 150 real people. It was millions of strangers at their best. And your brain, ancient and loyal and completely unaware that anything has changed, keeps running the calculation, keeps filing the results, keeps alarming you when you appear to fall short. The system is working exactly as designed, in a world it was never designed for. This is why you can feel genuinely content until you open your phone. This is why a single image can unravel an otherwise good day. This is why you can rationally know that what you are seeing is constructed and filtered and still feel the sting of it in your chest. Because the part of your brain doing the comparing is not the rational part. It was built long before rationality existed. It does not read disclaimers. It does not process context. It just measures, and it reports the result directly to your nervous system as survival data. There is one more layer to this that changes everything. Festinger identified two directions of social comparison. Upward comparison, measuring yourself against people who appear to be doing better than you, and downward comparison, measuring yourself against people who appear to be doing worse. And both directions have ancient functions. Upward comparison was how your ancestors identified what to strive for, who had the skills worth copying, whose status was worth pursuing. It was motivational intelligence. The discomfort of upward comparison was a signal to improve, to compete, to climb. The brain made upward comparison feel bad because bad feelings produce action, and action in the ancestral environment often meant survival. Downward comparison was how your ancestors assessed safety. When you compared down and found yourself ahead, the relief your brain produced was real survival relief. You were not at the bottom. You were not the most vulnerable. You were not the most likely to be excluded or abandoned. That relief was information. It told you that your position in the group was secure enough for now. Both systems are still running in you today, unmodified, in a world where the upward comparisons are infinite and curated, and the downward comparisons feel increasingly cruel and hollow. The ancient tools are intact. The environment they were built for is gone. So the next time you feel that quiet shift, that involuntary calculation running the moment you see someone else's life, understand what is actually happening. Your brain is doing its oldest job. It is checking your position in the group. It is filing survival data. It is running a system so ancient it predates language, predates civilization, predates everything you would recognize as modern human life. You are not shallow. You are not insecure. You are not weak for feeling it. You are running 2 million-year-old software in a world that changed last decade. And somewhere underneath all of it, your ancient brain is still just trying to make sure you belong, still trying to make sure you are safe, still doing the only job it ever knew how to do. You open an app. You were not looking for anything specific, but your brain was. It has always been looking for the same thing. Proof that you are still part of the group. Proof that you are still safe. Proof that you still belong. It has been looking for that proof since before your species had a name for it.